We are with Andrew Campbell and Riley Gibbs. We are so pleased to have them here. Voy a hacer un mix. Voy a ir cambiando entre español e inglés. So, English better for you?
It's better,
guys?
yeah.
We could go in Spanish if you want.
Let's try it. We could try it. It'd be ugly,
Yeah?
but we'd be all right.
First time in Barcelona or not?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So, well, many times we've been to the port. You know, during the Olympic career, we go to Mallorca for the Palma Princess
Nice.
Sofia.
Yep.
It's always part of our Olympic circuit. So many times we've come through Barcelona. This is our first time living here. So we're
Nice.
really enjoying it. Yeah.
So you see that a regular day, good weather, guys. So
It's always like this, right?
yeah, exactly. We've got like 5 days in the year which is rainy, but rest is like this. So you have to get used to it. Nada, nos comentan eso, que es la primera vez que están en Barcelona un largo periodo, que habían estado antes cerca en Mallorca, pero que no habían estado en Barcelona. Como saben, la Copa América va a estar en Barcelona. America's Cup will be in Barcelona, so you're getting used to every single thing on Barcelona Sea and everything we will talk about. But we have a generic public here, so generic crowd. We are gonna explain how a sailboat works and how a team works. So vamos a explicar un poco, ¿no? Para el público más general cómo funciona su barco, por ejemplo. My first question would be, guys, and I don't mind if Andrew answered or Riley. So, how a sailboat, in terms of the crew, in terms of crew inside the boat and outside the boat, how does it work? And how many people work in? Could you explain us in a generic mode how it works?
Yeah, I mean, we have two styles of boats. Whether we use AC40, which we race from down in Villanova, or
Mhm.
the 75. And you know, it's a very different discipline, I say, between each boat. So in the 40, it's an automated flight control system, which allows us to just trim the sails of our boat and just call tactics. And the AC75 is a totally different beast, so it's totally manual powered. You know, you have to produce all the oil and all of the pressure to work all the oxygen systems on board. So it's quite a demanding boat to sail, and it requires a lot of coordination.
So, but how many people can work in a crew like that?
Yeah, from the 40 we're sailing four people on board, and the
Okay.
75 we're sailing with eight.
And outside the boat? What about
Outside the boat, I mean, we have a massive team of supporters along with our marketing team here today.
Right.
You know, we're looking at around 200 people on
200 people. So unas 200 personas trabajan fuera de lo que es el barco en sí. Hay gente del staff que trabaja fuera, but inside you said 4 and 8.
4 cyclists and yeah.
Wow. 4 personas dentro u 8 depending on the boat that you guys are working with. So I would like to ask you outside the boat, because I know you are for a competitive athlete and complete athletes, how you train in your day by day, which is your routine, for example, in a training day, how it is, because it's not 100% on the boat. You have training outside the boat as well.
Yeah. The power team that's on board is generally producing power with their legs, and so we get to, us guys who are sailing in the back of the boat, we get to chase them around the hills on our bicycles.
Really?
So we went riding this morning. We've come in this morning and checked in with the guys at the base. There's a lot happening, as Riley said, at the base. You know, if you come visit us at the base, we've got 30 containers that each of them is its own office for the hydraulics team, the electronics team, sail makers, boat builders, the list goes, all the performance analysts, all the designers. It's an incredible beehive of people, and each of us has our responsibility when we get into work to check in with different offices and make sure that they're running, with the priorities that we have in mind, so that we can go and sail the boat well on the sailing day. Once we do get down there and on the dock, it's another squad of people running the chase boats, running our support on the water, the safety guys on the water, the medical team that's ready at any moment. It's a huge operation when all's said and done, and when we get the green light to go sailing, it's an amazing kind of effort to watch it all kind of be in motion.
So you have to be like super well organized between each other,
For sure.
and at least have your role pretty focused in, right?
Everybody has their role, and it has to be coordinated in a way that allows everybody to succeed, right? It allows everybody to be performing at the highest level. Because if one group is, struggling or having to put too many hours in, or is missing their deadline, then all of a sudden it sets the whole program in a different path. So we're really, have to be focused on our coordination to make sure that all departments are running at full steam, and we can get the most out of our sailing day. Anytime we go sailing on the water, it's a huge operation to back down.
nos contaba Andrew que la clave del equipo es estar bien organizados, que hay mucha gente en diferentes departamentos, que cada persona tiene una función y que sin esa coordinación sería imposible que su trabajo saliese adelante. As I was asking to Andrew, your daily routine training,
Yeah.
could you explain to us how it is? Because he spoke about the legs job and stuff.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
I mean, we're all extremely competitive, so we love competing and running with the cycleboards and, you know, race each other, challenge each other, ponds and whatnot. And, you know, just this morning we're cycling, as Xavier said, and really enjoying it and having fun and pushing each other extremely hard, whether we're on a boat racing each day or, you know, training in the gym or whatnot. So it's an incredible dynamic and atmosphere to be a part of this team. And, you know, it definitely feeds the motivation to work hard each and every day with the greater goal in mind and winning the year with that.
Le preguntaba por cómo entrenan fuera y cómo es su rutina de entrenos y me decía que son muy competitivos, algo que ya nos imaginábamos cuando son deportistas de élite, pero que además, por ejemplo, esta mañana han trabajado en la parte de ciclismo y que se apretan unos a otros para llevarse al límite, básicamente. Another question that I would like to ask to you guys is your complementary sport. I know cycling is a huge one and it's really important, but what about going to gym or going to running or whatever? Which is your complementary? The one that if you have to pick one, which would be?
I think we put all our time into the cycling.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's amazing actually when walking around the booth here how many of the products follow us around all day long, because from the bike to on the way in to work, to the chase boats that work, to the products that we have on board the yacht. I mean, you know, they pervade our entire life day to day.
So I guess Garmin in there has a huge importance, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Les preguntaba que cuál era el deporte que tenían que elegir, si eligiesen uno para entrenar fuera del barco, y me dice que el ciclismo. Entonces ahí, claro, Garmin tiene una importancia vital. So how the Garmin products work or help you to increase your performance and your day by day?
Yeah. For us, you know, just for instance, the watches maintain our daily kind of readiness, right? And the trainer, when we come in the morning, he already knows what we've done on the hills.
You cannot lie, guys.
No. And he
Never
already
mind.
knows how we slept. He already knows how much energy we have, and whether we're training at a level that's going to make us ready to go sailing every day, right? Because at the end of the day, we're there to be ready to go boat racing, and so he knows, okay, this is how many training hours Riley needs to do. Andrew needs to do a few more to catch up to him. So I'm going to give you a different plan.
You can just keep your training back.
Well, the data doesn't lie. So it does help maintain the human performance side of it in a way that I think if you're not getting those low gains, then you're struggling to make the most out of your team.
Same for you, ready?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, from the flight computer that we use it each morning on our rides, getting into work, keeping us on time and whatnot is extremely important when you're trying to run a team of such caliber, and time is money, and we're trying to be as efficient as we can.
Les preguntaba cómo los productos Garmin les podían ayudar a ellos en el día a día en sus entrenos, y lo que me contaban era que no hay lugar para engañar al entrenador, que ahí está todo muy marcado, que saben cuánto han dormido, cómo han dormido, cuánto han entrenado, si necesitan apretarse un poco más, si a Andrew hay que apretarle un poco más, si no, y eso es clave para ellos, para esas ganancias marginales que hacen la diferencia entre el primero y el segundo. Ese producto Garmin le da la diferencia. Guys, I would like to ask you about, and please be 100% true, about the diet, guys. Any special diet, anything that you have to avoid, no beers or something like that, or not?
Oh, only if it's a sponsored video. No problem.
Okay.
I won't tell you about the donuts we had this morning, but
Okay.
we
you're not
managed to get time for if we go hard enough, we get
Okay.
time for the coffee.
Important.
But we still have to be at work on time.
Just 2 minutes
Okay.
we go
We
fast.
gotta race up the hill to get to the donuts.
Okay. So you don't have any meal forbidden or something like
No,
that you have?
fortunately, with the wonderful base we have over at NYYC, we've got fantastic chefs that keep us
Okay.
well fed and full. So
Okay.
pretty fortunate.
Les preguntaba si tenían algún tipo de dieta especial, si se prohibían algo, y parece que no, porque entrenan lo suficiente como para no tener que hacer ese tipo de trabajo extra. I would like to ask you guys, being a bit more technical about the foil sport, how does it work in a boat? Could you explain for a generic trout, even though for me, how does it work? day by day or in your race?
How the foils work?
Yeah.
So the boats that we sail, they've been made to go as fast as we possibly can, and the best way that you can reduce drag is to lift the hull out of the water. And so the foils that we actually sail on are, basically a surfboard size, and you imagine that they're lifting, a 9-ton platform, so you can lift all that equipment out of the water. The drag of the hull is no longer touching the water, and the foils become the only force that's dragging in the water, and so it becomes much more efficient. And quite often we're doing 3 to 4 times the wind speed with our boat speed. So the amount of performance gained and the amount of efficiency gained by lifting the platform out of the water, as with any foiling platform, whether it's a ferry or a powerboat, the same with the sailboat. There are kind of additional dynamics, right, that we still need to provide the force against the wind to make the boat, the sailboat, run. Riley and I both grew up sailing small boats, like any young sailor, starts in the sport, and you develop those sailing skills that transfer into something that you never imagined, and that's where we are now. We're making something happen that I don't think anybody imagined was going to be the case when we were 15 or 20 years ago.
Wow. It's kind of the Formula One way of thinking, like being dragged in the floor just as fast as possible.
Yeah, for sure, and throwing the development as far down the path as you might be able to, and seeing if you can get there by the time the racing period comes. So we're extremely aggressive in our design path and the choices that we've made with our foils to kind of get us the fastest shapes and whatnot. And it's pretty cutthroat.
Les preguntaba la función de los foils, ¿no? Cómo trabaja en un barco, y nos contaban que es la clave de ir rápido y de cada vez ir más rápido, que ha evolucionado mucho desde los últimos 10-15 años, y que es lo que hace que la velocidad del barco sea mayor, porque cuanto más pegado al agua estás, cuanto menos te levantas, pues más rápido puedes ir. Guys, you're coming to Barcelona for the America's Cup 2024. I guess seas are quite different between different countries and oceans. Which are the main issues that you found that here training in Barcelona, and the challenges that you're going to face in 2024, guys?
No, I mean, arriving in early June, it was beautiful. I mean, we've had so many glorious days out sailing with the thermal coming in. I know there's a Spanish name for it, but I lose it. But no, it's been fantastic. When the easterly comes in, and we're just really learning how the weather patterns come in affect Barcelona is a very localized race course. We have a set box and diameter, which likely our race course will be in. Mm-hmm. So we try to focus most of our training in that region, just off the W here in the beach. But yeah, learning as much as we can about weather patterns and climate. So sailing in this like the environment.
Le estaba preguntando por las corrientes de Barcelona, porque ellos están acostumbrados a Nueva Zelanda o Australia o cualquier océano diferente. Las corrientes son diferentes, so it's really different to sail in this kind of sea.
Yeah, especially in the direction of which the breeze is coming. So like the southerly that usually prevails when it's warmer, and the thermal breeze is quite a different breeze state and sea state, let's say, to the easterly or even on the Gulf.
So you're still getting used to it?
Yeah. I mean, at very early days, we have a whole another year to continue studying it. So.
Yeah.
This venue is unique, right? Because because we have an open course here.
Okay.
So any wind direction that comes from the sea is going to generate bigger waves. And so we'd sail these boats, these foiling boats, in Bermuda, in Auckland, super flat water venues, right?
Okay.
I mean, these are with islands all around. It's like a piece of glass.
Yeah.
So now we're in a very open racetrack, and that's adding to the complication of what we're designing. So it will be a very different look to what we've been seeing in the last 3 America's Cups, right? Between San Francisco, Bermuda, Auckland, those are all flat water venues, and this is the first kind of open water venue that we're going to see, and the waves are going to add complication to how we're operating, for sure.
Nos contaba Andrew que la mayor diferencia es cómo el viento les afecta, y la diferencia entre las aguas que ellos suelen encontrar, que son muy tranquilas, por decirlo así, y aquí hay más olas y están encontrando diferentes desafíos. Those challenges are making change your technique in terms of sailing?
Both technique and design.
designer as well?
Absolutely, yeah. So we'll have design foils and packages that are set for a different operating environment.
Yeah.
So when the sea state will never get bigger than a wave like this, it's much different than you see the size of the seawall here, and all of a sudden, okay, they're protecting the harbor from some big waves.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to design for. Be ready for what we think the conditions are going to be like this time next year.
Okay.
And I don't know if you say it's always this summer
Yeah,
or
it will
in
be.
October.
100%.
Yeah.
Trust me. No, nos contaba que además el diseño también del barco en sí cambia porque las olas no son iguales, tienen que intentar adaptarse lo más rápido, pero es cierto que el tiempo debería ser muy similar al que tenemos hoy, con lo cual se están adaptando. Guys, I would like to ask you about the chase boats, which are so important to you guys. Which are their function? Could you explain to us, like, super easy, but what's that thing for?
Unlike most sailing teams, we usually run with a fleet of chase boats, whether we have a support boat, a primary support boat,
Okay.
which helps dock the yacht. As we don't have engines on board, we need outside powered assistance to help us get in and out of the harbor and whatnot, and then help us raise the sails and stay conditioning. And then we also have our data and telemetry chase boat, which is a 45-foot catamaran powerboat with 2,000 horsepower or something on the back of it.
Wow.
It's incredibly powerful. Can barely keep up with a race boat at full pace, but yeah, again has a full array of Garmin displays and everything for all the data analysts to kind of scour through the information that we're
So
getting.
they are sending that to you?
Yeah. No, so the data's being sent from the race boat to the data chase boat,
Okay.
and then it's also being sent back to land for further analyzation.
Wow.
So you imagine the booth in the F1,
Yeah.
where you see the guys with the computer screens running all the diagnostics checks for the race car. We had the same on the water.
Right.
Yeah. These guys are bouncing around doing 45 knots.
Trying to hang on to
In the sea state at times. That's shows the importance of the displays working right. Everything being available at full pace, because they need to make good decisions to keep up with us. And
So they are like your eyes.
Absolutely. Yeah. At any moment, they come through the comms and they say, "Hey, this is not quite working the way we expect. Try this setting instead." We make a change, and maybe there's an improvement, or it's, "Hey, this is not working right. Let's stop and take a look." And it's a constant back and forth, making sure that we're getting the most out of the equipment.
Communication is key over
The chase boats themselves are workhorses of our program. They're absolutely battling in the conditions because we get to ride above the waves, and those guys are going through every wave that's available out there. And so everything has to be going exactly right on the chase boat too, to make sure that they're running at full pace.
Wow. Les preguntaba por el chase boat, ¿no? Que es digamos, el barco que les acompaña y la función que tiene. Y básicamente son ingenieros de pista, por decirlo así, pero en el agua, y les dan constantemente información. Hay un flujo de información continuo de esto no está funcionando, ¿qué hago? Y al revés, la información de esto os va a funcionar, hacer esto, de imaginaros la velocidad a la que van, teniendo que trabajar con los dispositivos. Es una locura. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It happens at a really high
It's
pace.
fun, you said?
Absolutely, yeah. Every engineer not every engineer.
Yeah.
Some guys they say, okay, I'm a little green, maybe I'll stay on shore today, but
You cannot get
you need some tough people on the chase boats, and we've got a really great squad.
So, talking about this chase boat and you roll into the boat, are you still deciding the whole decisions of everything? You have that feeling that this is gonna work, or you trust them? Like, okay, if you say that to me, I'm gonna die or not?
They always have ideas,
Okay.
and that their ideas are coming from sound science.
Okay.
The vast majority of those guys are PhD, they're doctors, right? In what they're doing, they're very well educated. They have great ideas of what the concept should be, and we have to go out and test that concept and say, yeah, this is working just like the physics says, or reality is a little different from what the simulation says. So how do we reconcile those two ideas? How do we understand the difference in those two dynamics? And and then if the testing doesn't quite go right, how do we design the test to make it a good answer, right? Because as the sailors right now, our whole job is to go out and produce good data for the designer to make a good decision about what the final product is.
But such a workflow, I guess.
Absolutely, it's always a back and forth. We say this is working, this test is good, this test is bad, let's try it a different way. And but it comes through the comms, they tell us what to do, we have to do it. Because otherwise we're coming in and saying, well, we need to run that test again.
Les preguntaba cuál es punto, digamos, de equilibrio entre lo que le dice el ingeniero, lo que ellos sienten, que ellos, los ingenieros les dan un feedback, pero que al final el que está en el barco y sabe la realidad, entonces van intentando encontrar un equilibrio. That balance, that fit, that's what I was talking about, has to be, I mean, I would like us to about the communication with these guys,
Yeah.
with the engineering stuff. How does it work? How it is? It's super fluid, or
Yeah,
it's right after the training, or how it works?
It's working, throughout the entire day. So as soon as we leave the cock, we got set parameters and a set test list that we need to achieve that day. And if, say our communication runs down or, breaks up or somehow, we have to stop the entire day, which is incredibly inefficient.
Yeah.
We're just wasting hours and hours of precious time in the water with all the resources available and again, wasting everyone's time. So it's extremely crucial to the performance and I guess the success of our program.
Yeah, le preguntaba por la comunicación al baile entre los ingenieros y los atletas en este caso, y es básica porque si no hay comunicación no saben los feedbacks que pueden tener ellos, las necesidades, y si no, de hecho se podría parar, you said you could stop a training or a training, whatever, if that guy, si se podría parar un entreno entero, how many hours do you have for a training session?
3 to 6 hours usually.
De 3 a 6 horas que podrían parar, y eso para el desarrollo, for the development of the boat, it's not worth it. No hay que parar el entreno por la...
That's just time on the water.
Yeah,
Exactly. So the build up and the deregulator boat on either side of that training block is sometimes, around 3 to 4 hours. So it's those long days.
It's more about thinking that your rivals are training and you're not.
No. You're a test pilot for now, but soon we'll be racing.
So we're coming to an end, but guys, you talk about before the importance of cycling, for example, but you have cyclists on board, more or less. Why? I mean, I know the reason, but could you explain to the crowd why you have cyclists on board?
Yeah, you imagine any sailboat that has a piece of rope that pulls the sails tighter.
Yeah.
We do that with hydraulic power, right?
Okay.
There's a hydraulic ram that's pulling that rope on. When the sailor decides, okay, I want more main sheet, I pull the button and the ram starts to pull, and the people who produce the oil pressure behind that ram are human beings. So the cyclers on board, they're producing power through a hydraulic pump that then pulls that ram on. So you imagine the crane that lifts one of these boats into the water. Okay, that crane works with an engine, but we have to produce that power with a human being. So that's the challenge of the America's Cup, is understanding how to make the sailor make the boat go around the course, and how we can do that more efficiently than the other team.
Le preguntaba por la función de muchos navegantes que prácticamente son ciclistas, y por qué. Y lo que me cuenta es que, claro, aquí todo es manual, aquí no hay motor como tal, y que todo va con la fuerza del propio cuerpo. Entonces tiene que tener gente específica preparada para eso. So guys, it's been a pleasure to us to learn how your boat works and to have you here at the Garmin stand. It's been a pleasure, and we only can wish you the best for the America's Cup in 2024 here in Barcelona. I hope that it can give you good luck for the future, and hope you have you here next year as a champion. Yeah?
Muchísimas gracias.
Deal?
Thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you guys.